Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the online meeting of Thank God It's Friday. I am pleased to be your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. In the online meeting environment, there are few instructions that we follow. I request you to rename yourself. All Toastmasters can prefix TM to your name and guests can prefix guest. I'll do it myself. I would request you to type in the chat box and make the session more interesting. You are all requested to keep your audio on mute in case you aren't speaking. We know it's dinner time. You may turn on the video and show us your culinary skills. Please feel free to invite us at your home for dinner sometime. You can connect with the Tech Master for any technical glitch. The Tech Master for today's meeting is myself. The meeting is being recorded. In case you have any reservations, please let us know. You can network after the meeting. Let me share the mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I welcome the speaker for today's event to take you through the wonderful ride. Toastmaster Kalpana is an NLP certified trainer and coach with more than 17 years of experience with corporates and educational institutes. Developing technical communication and English for medical students are the feathers in her cap. The former subject is now added in the curriculum at Ansal Shoshant University. Voice it, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand, for that wonderful introduction. And I don't think, as I heard you, you need any voice modulation. That was wonderfully put across. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It feels great to have this opportunity today to be in front of you and guide you with voice modulation. I've got some interesting interactive games here, yes, games, so that we can practice our voice and know how to go about voice modulation. Yes, I also have a supportive PPT, but help me to make this session as interactive as possible so that it doesn't end up boring PowerPoint slides. Thank you. So, voice modulation. Voice yourself. So let us see, what is voice modulation? Though I have put the slide up, can anyone just tell me what is voice modulation? It's there in the first line. Unmute yourself and please read it. Let me know your tone, voice, sound, and how you convey that first line to me. Anand, would you like to go? Yeah.
Yes. So voice modulation is how you control your voice when speaking. So I just try to read what is there in the video.
No problem at all. That's very true. It is actually how you control your voice, because it is your voice that conveys everything. Your voice carries your emotions. Your voice conveys a message of happiness, sadness, sober, serious, sarcasm, you name it. It's your voice, not the words. That's why they say in communication skills that it is the voice that either hurts us or makes us happy, or a congratulatory tone that gives us a pat on our back. So remember one thing, we will also verify the sentence that I have told you as to how a voice can change your meaning, turn it into sarcasm, or make it a normal, congratulatory, or any other emotions while we are communicating or talking. There are 4 pillars of any voice or any speech. One is tone, pause, stress, and pitch. I'm taking you to the next. Can anybody tell me something about a pause? Why do we use pause?
Pause is for the listener to take a moment and sink in the moment.
Yes, yes. We'll be coming to that. Pitch. What is pitch?
I think pitch is varying your tone as per your speech.
Yes. No, pitch is not the tone. Pitch is the volume. Supposing I want to, you will hear people say, they start off with a whisper or a low key note voice and then raise it up. For example, my name is Kalpana, right? But if we are trying to say it where I want it to be, I am asked to repeat for the third time, then I'll say, my name is Kalpana. That is the pitch. What I'm talking normally to people, my name is Kalpana, right? So irritation, anger, frustration leads us to increase the volume of our voice. That is known as pitch. What is tone? Tone.
I think it's the quality of sound maybe.
Yes. Tone is, are we using a kind tone, a warm tone, a cold tone? Let me just give you an example. First, one word hello. How many different types can you tell a hello? First situation, you are greeting a friend.
Hello,
Hello. Okay. You're greeting your boss.
hello,
You're greeting somebody who you have had, you can say, a misunderstanding a day before. How will
hello,
you, huh? Will you be cold to him? So, what's a cold voice?
hello,
Okay. A dismissive voice. Same word, hello. Dismissive voice, hello. Yeah, because you are pitched among friends and you have to greet him. So that's what I meant. One word. But the message it has conveyed because of the tone that we have used as changing the whole meaning. All right. Now, the last one is stress. What do we mean by stress? Why do we stress a particular word?
to emphasize what we want to say.
Yes. To pass on an information, to pass on a message. We pass it on with a stress to ensure that the people who are listening to us end up remembering what is being told or conveyed to them in a communication. That is why we stress or we use stress when we are communicating normally in a conversation, when we are in a meeting, or when we are delivering a speech, or when we are among friends also. All right, so these four are the pillars of voice modulation. I have given you guys, see, why pause, when do we use pause, before and after an important information. Can you all guys very quickly make up a line and say it with a pause? So we'll be practicing the first pillar of voice modulation. One line of any important information, use a pause. One line, quickly write something. Do you want me to give a line? All right, India won independence in 1947.
India won independence in 1947.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Anand, let me tell you, you said one, again, there was a stress. Independence, there was a stress. What is the first important information? In that whole line, that just like the way we mind map, we have to voice map a sentence. How will you voice map? What do you think is the most important information you're trying to give in this sentence?
Independence.
And
One.
and
1940.
India.
no,
Is it
and
1947?
1947. So India won independence. See, remember, it might be a part of a sentence. What is it that we want the audience to remember even as they go home? All right, we will use the 1947 as the most important information. India 1 information is going to be a part of a paragraph, technically speaking. So we know we're talking about India. So the pauses is based on the structure of the speech that you're going to use. And in that structure, the important dates, numbers needs to be should be told before a pause, or you need to use a pause. Now, why do you need a pause? Let us see, for dramatic effect. Okay, we will be doing some sentences on that also to gather your thoughts. Now, supposing I don't have a slide in front of me and I am talking. Suddenly, I'm not able to recall what I am talking. That happens when we're actually delivering a speech. No matter what we don't know, we are unable to recall what we are talking. So what do? We pause. But how do we pause? Let's say this. Late at night, I was coming down the driveway. Now, what did I do? After a was, I had no idea what I wanted to say. I covered it up by I closed my eyes as if for a dramatic pause, and instantaneously my mind gave me what's the next line, and I covered it up with my hands action as well as my voice. So what happens, we can use this pause to gather our thoughts. When you start gathering your thoughts, you are using it to your own advantage. So next time you think you're forgetting something in a speech, don't look at the roof. Don't look sideways, which is what we normally do. Don't do it. So, let's see what happens after that. Can you tell me, or put a question to the audience? Can you tell me what I'm thinking? Can you tell me what it is that's going on in my mind? And as you take that pause of breath for yourself, either by questioning or by pausing for a dramatic effect, you will get the chance to collect your thoughts, even to gauge audience reaction. Do you know how do we gauge an audience reaction? Anybody? I'm sure, Anand, you must have had a live, Toastmasters session. So could you tell me, how do you do that?
No, I haven't. I've always been in the online
Okay, so
environment.
let me tell you, when I'm a trainer, what do I do? As I go around, you can sense an unrest. Reading a body language is absolutely important. When you sense an unrest, you know that your thoughts are not going across. That is the time you use silence as a weapon. People have become so attuned to the fact that you're speaking, and when there's an absolute still silence, they are all going to look up at you to wonder what happened. Why is she quiet, or why is he quiet? Right? And while they look at us, we have to gauge what made them disinterested in my speech. That pause, while you are taking it as a silence to cue in your audience, think about the last 2-3 lines you might have spoken, which might have bored them, and change the track. Change the track means change the tone. Do I need to make it more humorous? Do I need to use more stress, more pause, make it more interesting, cut down on some of the information? That comes with practice. I myself do it while I am presenting a speech, cutting down on information. If I gauge my audience is not with me, that takes practice, but believe me, you can do it. To perceive the mood and connect with the audience, which I just said, because once you stop and you're looking at the audience, you can tell what your audience is thinking. And once you realize what your audience is thinking, you'll find yourself getting attuned to it, because you are speaking or the only reason you're speaking is because you have somebody to listen.
Listen.
So you should always keep them in mind. No matter what your content is, how you deliver it should keep their ears perked up to what we are speaking. All right. So there is the speech. We'll be doing a few exercises. So I'll read this one out. I will not waste time explaining this. Loudness to whispers, but I'll give you one example of loudness to whisper. All right. Now, if I say, "Ew! I saw a snake. It's there. It's there, right there." The pitch, you can raise it and you can release it. When you raise the pitch is also another trick to get your audience to listen to you. And when you release it, even they sigh along with you. In your speech, use your voice modulation to take them through the journey of your speech. That is why we have pitches. Sometimes if I say, "I just returned home. I opened the door and I was shocked. Everything was in a mess. Had thieves come to my house? I don't know. What do I do? Call the police, call the police, call the police." Now you see, I'm using the pitch. So that is where for dramatic effects, we use the pitch, mostly the whispers and the loudness. Tone. What is the tone? Generally, we all get lost when it comes to the tone. We just come there. We know the pauses. We know everything, but we don't know what is the tone. For that, please decide what tone do you want to set for the speech that you have written. Interesting, informative. Is there a message? Is it humorous? Are you making an appeal for something, like for a donation, or you're bringing people to the awareness of the downside of the wars that are happening, or maybe the downside of what happens if there is not going to be water, or the environment. What is it that you want to say? Accordingly, set your tone. The first example that we practiced over here was with hello. When we spoke just one word, hello, we can see there's a plethora of emotions that we can use in that word. And it is very natural to all of us when we are going to speak about it. We will suddenly realize, hello, humorous, appeal, hello, like, can I? Informative, hello, hello, hello. You want information from them. See the hello changing. Your boss, hello. Yeah. How will you say a hello to your girlfriend? Everybody says smile, nobody wants to tell it. All right. So what I'm saying is our tone carries our emotion. So when we are giving a speech, decide on a tone. Once you decide on a tone, your speech automatically becomes interesting. Stress, as we said in 1947, dates, data, and information, message, and words that convey emotions. Because we'll be doing some practical stuff, we'll start doing it now. We just said hello. Now, great. Say a disinterested great. Who can tell me a disinterested great?
Great.
Great. Yeah, not interested. Happy great.
Great.
Great, yes. Disappointed great.
Great.
Great. See, now remember one thing. Now, one thing that is immersed in this tone as you used it was the rolling of a tongue. Great. All this are something because the word itself went from a low pitch to a curve of a slightly high pitch and then it dropped. Great. It went like a wave in a sea. Someone can tell me, oh, nice? Sarcastically. Now let us use the tone sarcastic.
Oh, nice.
No, oh, no. When you say it, the first, oh, nice. But yes, oh, nice. A little expression on the face, nice. Automatically, when you change the expression, the tone that we are going to emote will also change. So remember that. Can someone tell it once again in a sarcastic tone? Yes, sarcastic tone. The fantastic, or let us say fantastic enthusiastically.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. 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 I think women do it better. Women are pro at sarcasm. Anyways, fantastic. Happy. Supposing I tell you you have won a lottery of $1 billion or Bitcoins has gone up. Fantastic. How will you exclaim that word? Fantastic. Yes, Anand, you just got Bitcoin.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So now what have you done? Within the word fantastic, the TA is stressed. Do you realize? So this is the takeaway. Even within the word, you can use a stress. Fantastic. Now what happens? Your tone is going up. Astic, your tone is coming down. Again, you're using the pitch, the stress within a word, as well as the joy within a word. So that is how at least 3 pillars of voice modulation is coming together in just one word. All right. Now let us see, as I was telling you about the tone, that you have to set the tone of the speech that you're going to say, right? Now, how initially when I told you, if you all recall, that words do not matter. It's not the words that hurt us. It is the tone that decides what is it that you're going to communicate. All right. This is how it is. Now, the first line, I'm going to read it without any stress, any inflex in my voice or setting or tone or nothing. I'm just going to read it. Okay. There's going to be no stress. There's going to be no pause, nothing. This is my wife. All right. Now, Anand, could you stress the word this and then read the sentence, the first one that I have given?
This is my wife.
Okay. Now, what's the meaning of it?
This is my wife.
No,
In the
no,
sense
no.
of this person is my wife.
Okay. But it means clarification. This is my wife.
This person is
Okay.
my wife and this person is not my wife. In
Not
that
my
manner.
wife. Exactly.
Oh.
So do you see why we use the stress when we are giving a speech or doing something? Because you have to give a stress on a word that you feel needs to be going as information. All right. Next line. I think Kunal, what could you like to try with is as an info on stress on is?
Ma'am, can you repeat the sentence again?
You can see the PowerPoint. See, PowerPoint, I have got 4 types of, stress, some fun, pause and stress. This is my wife. I want you to stress the word is and then read the same line. See, the words are not changing. The tone is changing. Could you do that?
Yes, I can try.
You can see the PowerPoint, right? So this
Yes.
one, I want you to do this. Yeah.
This is my wife.
Yeah. No, there was stress on my also.
Yeah.
Do it with a conscious that the stress is only going to be on is. Can you do it?
Yeah, I can try again. This is my wife.
So whenever you are going to stress something, never lengthen that particular word. This is. Automatically the stress will come. This is my wife. This is my wife. Okay. Got it? Try it once again, Kunal.
This is my wife.
Exactly. Now what is the meaning of it?
That person is my wife.
Is my wife. Come on now, how many times do I have to tell you? This is my wife, right? So you see how when a stress in a particular line on a particular sentence changes, the meaning itself changes. Okay. Now, do we have anybody else? It is us only, right? Okay. All right, Anand, back to
We
you.
have
This is
Abhinav,
Abhinav.
Vikas,
Okay. I can't. Okay.
and
Abhinav, would you like to try the third line with stress on my? Hello, Abhinav, are you there? All right, Anand, you give it a shot.
This is my wife.
Yes. Again, my wife. The Y went down. When you're stressing something, don't let any waves in the words.
Okay.
That will take away the impact of the stress. This is my wife. You
Okay,
know?
this is my wife.
Yeah. This is my. No. Always remember. Now, one more hint or tip over here. Whenever you're going to stress a word, a pause before the word, a pause after the word.
Got
When
it.
you do that, the people realize that that particular word has been stressed. All right, like this is my wife. All right, what is the meaning of it? When I change the stress to my, what is the meaning of it?
This is my wife and this is not his wife.
Absolutely correct. So, do you see this? When I say it is not the words that matter, it is the voice modulation, the tone, the way we speak that conveys a message. And if we use it continuously in a wrong way when we are giving a speech, the message never reaches people. Got it? So you have to decide what it is that you want to convey when you are on the stage. It is not the return part of it. It is the conveying part of it or the delivering part of it. The last one, this is my wife. Kunal, try it. And this time I don't want a sing song or a curvish voice. I want it as a stress, as a thappa marte hai na, that way. Do it once, Kunal.
This is my wife.
This is my wife. Wife, matlab do not argue. You know, she's not my grandma, right? Why on earth are you calling? See, now you see how within the four different stresses that we have given in one particular sentence. My wife, not my girlfriend, not my sister. She's not my grandmother. She's not my mother. She's my wife. Like, how many times do I have to tell you? So that one, when you stress on just one word, look at the way the meaning changes. Behind it is a plethora of emotions that says, okay, I don't want to argue with you. If I can complete the whole thing by just calling it, okay, she's my wife. Got it? That is why when you're delivering a speech, what is it that you want to stress on is extremely important no matter what. Okay. So I'm coming down to next pitch. There is someone outside my door. I give you an example of me entering the house, and this was it was completely in dark. Who will read this one from a whisper to a high note? Either Anand or Kunal, either of you can do it.
From a whisper to a
From a whisper to a high pitch, or what will you, how would you like to say this sentence? Either from a whisper to a high pitch, or from a whisper to a high pitch to a low pitch to a high pitch. How would you try to do this?
Ma'am, can there be only one pitch? Maybe low pitch or high pitch?
Try it. Let us see what is the pitch that you're using. Then we will decide what is the message you're conveying. Just like the way we did with the last one. Do it, Kunal.
So I'll try in the low pitch.
Okay.
There is someone outside my door.
Yeah. Now, dramatization. Can you whisper this into dramatization of emotion? Is it fear? Is it surprise? Is it unexpectedness? That is the tone. See, you use the pitch, but you're not using the tone. Now, what tone do you want to use over here? Is it of fear? See, that is what you need to decide when you're giving your speech. If you don't decide on that, you will be having your pitch and pauses and everything, but the tone, this is the fourth gear, you know, just like the way we drive a car, right? So we have four gears. You need to switch or add all the gears, because it is technically not a car, you're driving a speech. Got it? So there is someone outside my door. Which what emotion you want to use? Fear or surprise? Kunal, you decide on that. Anand, how will you give me this sentence?
okay, so if I have to go from whisper to shout, I will like, there is someone outside my door.
Yeah, correct. All right. So it was like, you know, but you're telling it to someone in a nice, funny way, as if, you know, trying to scare somebody in the gathering, in a friendly gathering. That is what I will gather from the sentence that you have used. Kunal, how will you use the same thing with fear as your expression or tone?
Ma'am, with fear, it can be like there is someone outside my door.
There is someone out. There is, husky voice. There is someone outside my door. It will go low, 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 because whenever you're afraid of something, your voice will automatically start dropping. So you start dropping your voice. You start off with, and the pitch is always between 1 to 10. So you start off with the pitch of about 3, you end it up with a pitch of 1. So there is someone outside my door. So someone will have to come out and listen to you more as to what did you say. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. So pitch, of course, I've given you exercises, but I want you all to use it when you all reach forever. So, either take it down or you are allowed to take a screenshot. I have no issues. Okay. Now, how will you stress this line? I think Anand has gone offline for a moment. Why don't you try this, Kunal? Stress. Now, let us take the stress. What will you stress on this?
The first sentence.
Take your time, no problem.
So may I have a go on it?
Yeah.
And I need to stress on which part?
That's what I'm saying. See, now
What is the emotion? What is the
you
emotion
decide on
that
the tone. You decide on, because the minute the tone changes, like with a simple sentence we found out, right? The message you convey changes. So do you want to convey alarm? That's a price rise. Do you want to convey happiness? Maybe your share stocks went up and your profits went up. Okay, what is it that you want to convey? Accordingly, only you will be able to decide on where to use your stress, where to use your pause, and where to use your pitch. So decide on the tone, and then you decide on your stress level and the pause and pitch. Go ahead.
Apollo Hospitals share price rises on entry in Nifty 50 index from March?
No, I want you to do better. I think you can do better.
Yes, because I was just reading it out and not able to
Yeah.
focus on what.
All right. Just give me the words like which you feel needs a stress. Let us see this. Give me the words. Don't convey any information. I'm not going to think about information. Let's see, what do you think was important enough in this one to be told? Remember one thing. I'll just give you a tip over here. Both the sentences are different. So the first trick that you used while you said India won independence in 1947, right? That trick could be used here because the sentences are different and not apart. Got it? So give it a shot, Anand.
Yeah. Apollo Hospitals share price rises on entry in the Nifty 50 index from March.
In Nifty 50 index, these three, the audience has to take it.
Nifty
Apollo
50.
hospitals, Apollo and hospitals, again important. Share price rises. Why the share price rises? Share price, you don't have to say anything or stress, because
But
you're
rises.
talking about shares. You're at a meeting, assuming you're talking about. So Apollo hospitals, hey, it is not any other hospital, not Max, not 40s. Just like the way we were trying about the wife, same way. Apollo hospital, so stress on Apollo. Share price rises actually in Nifty 50. I think I'll have to move my this. Yeah, index from March. Nifty 50 index. So now you tell it together.
Nifty 50 index.
effects from March. Why did I tell it together? These three words, when I'm using it together, I'm using it with a speed. And when I'm using that Nifty 50 effect, it will stay in people's mind instead of separating them and using it from March. Automatically, those people who are in this will know that, yeah, March se ye sab kuch hota hai. Why I used these indications? Because it is not always that we are giving speech. There are times when we are going to be in a meeting, in an office, and there are times we are going to have data or information. So what kind of data or information you're going to use is very important. Okay, Kunal, would you like to try the next one?
Okay, ma'am. Kirloskar Ferris shares gained 6% on CCI approval which were taken ISMT.
Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. Kirloskar Ferros shares. You can also use three words together. Kirloskar Ferros shares gained 6% on CCI approval. Got it? Great. So now you know how a stress is used to convey your information, everything. This is something you all can use it. My birthday falls on 23rd March, not February. Got it? I will not eat pizza today. I will not. Now, if you want to, but if you want a different food, I'll not eat pizza today. I'll not eat pizza today. I'll not eat pizza means I'll eat for the rest of the days, but not today. So this is how the stress and pause happens. If
Not
has
eat.
anybody noticed that when you are trying to stress a word, we pause before the stress and we pause after the stress. All right. Yeah. It is automatic and very natural. Now
Vanita has
we have
also joined. Probably she
exercises.
wants.
Yes, Anand?
Vanita has also joined, and probably she was trying
Oh,
to for the third point.
oh, okay. Okay. Should I do
I
the
was just attempting. Sorry, I'm having my dinner as well. I just came
no
back.
problem. No problem.
Sorry,
Actually,
I didn't realize.
kindly raise your hand or something because I'm unable to see all of you. I can only see 4 people on my screen right now. Would you like to attempt it? Please go ahead.
Are you asking me?
Yes, why not?
Okay, which one, please?
Whichever you feel like, maybe the last one, or since you're eating, you can even try out on pizza, whatever you're comfortable with.
Then definitely I would say I will not eat pizza today.
Absolutely. I will not eat pizza today. So that is how you use your stress, Here means no, not today. Today I don't want to eat pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be going down to the next. Now, how do we work on our loudness and softness of the voice? A few exercises I have given over here. All right. First and foremost, you can start off with like or you can start it loud. It sounds musical, but what happens is as you go with up and down with the pitch, the way it is given over here, it helps you to develop from going into a high to low pitch without your vocal cords going through a stress. Another thing, I spoke in the last slide about using 3 to 5 words. I've used 3 words, but sometimes you can use up to 5 words together to get the hang of using 3 to 5 words, and so that we are not using it disjointed, we can start using first numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in one breath. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can use it fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can use it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can stop it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That will help you develop the pitch without realizing it. And whenever you need to deliver your speech, it becomes automatic. The speech will take its own mapping, while you're delivering a speech, whether you want it high or low. And your voice, the minute you perceive it as that you want to deliver it high, it automatically goes high. But remember, you do need to practice this. It doesn't come automatically because we're so used to talking in a flat or a monotonous voice. All right, let's see now. Always try to have some tongue twisters. So I will begin and ask you instead of this. No, I think I've taken that out. So because I thought I'll have it, let's have it extempo. How many of you all know Betty bought a bit of butter? No? You all don't know the tongue twister in English. It's quite famous. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter was bitter. So she bought another bit of butter to make the bitter butter better.
Heard of this, but would not like to try this one.
No, you should. See why? Because you see how much the emotions are playing. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter was bitter. So she bought another bit of butter to make the bitter butter better. So she bought another bit of butter to make the bitter butter better. See how many tones, how many emotions, how quick you can speak it. You have to. So if you want to be a great speaker, please try it at home. All right. How about kacha papad, pakka papad?
I would rather try to say seashells, she sells at the seashore.
Tell it 5 times quickly and I'll hand it to you, a trophy.
Seashells, she sells at the, she sells seashells at the seashore. She
Okay.
sells seashells at the seashore. She
Okay.
sells seashells at the seashore. She
Okay.
sells seashells at the seashore. She sells seashells at the seashore.
Okay, so you nodded. You know that, but I want you to try Betty bought a bit of butter when
Okay,
you're
I'll try
alone.
that.
Kunal, could you say something like Chandu ki chachi ne Chandu ke chacha ko chandni chammach? What is it? Again, I lost it. Sorry. Chandu ki chachi ne Chandu ke chacha ko chandni chowk mein chandi ki chammach se chutney chatai. I'm sure Kunal, you can try that. Yes.
Ma'am, can you repeat it once?
Okay, if you don't know, I want you to read this from here. Many men munch many melons. Try it. Because I'm sure that's a very long line. That's why I'm asking you to try the one that I have written. Many men munch many melons.
Many men munch many melons. Many men munch many melons. Many men munch
5
many
times.
melons.
5 times.
Many men munch many melons. Many men munch many melons. Many
Now,
men munch many melons.
okay, we'll make it 3 times. I think we might be running out of time. Stress on many and then say many men munch many melons.
Many men munch many
Stress
melons.
on many. Now, this is the trick. This is the trick. Now start using the stress. Many men munch many melons. 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 Got it? When you start practicing this, you know what you have to stress. It becomes a part of you. All right. So Mandy made marinade. You said there was, what was her name? She's here, right? Ask her to read
Vanita.
anyone. Major Mickey's malt makes me merry. We can have a glass of malt today. It's Friday.
So which one is that? Major Mickey's malt
makes me merry.
Okay. Major Mickey's malt makes me merry. Major Mickey's malt makes me merry.
Correct.
Major Mickey's malt makes me merry.
Absolutely.
Major Mickey's malt makes me merry. Major Mickey's malt makes me merry.
Me merry.
Yeah. Major Mickey's malt makes me merry.
Fantastic. Now you got this. So once you start rehearsing these kind of things, what happens is you will find that your voice just follows you, your unconscious mind, because it has become a practice. So practice is very important. Now let us try the emotions. Once upon a time, there was a great prince, a beautiful princess, and a sulky little dwarf. All right, now let me just move this over here. All right, great. Who will like to read this? See, what have I used in this? Repeat this sentence using different intonations. Example, the very first, once upon a time, there was a great prince in a happy tone, a beautiful maiden in a wistful tone, ominous tone, and a sulky dwarf. All right, so I'm going to give you the first example. Happy tone, here I go. Once upon a time, there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden, and a sulky dwarf. Got it? What did you understand from this first sentence of mine that I spoke when I spoke with happy tone in the beginning? Here, can you make out in the very first sentence, if you have listened carefully to the tone of my voice, can you tell me who is the villain in this?
The dwarf.
The dwarf.
Yeah.
That is how you use your tone to convey. Is it clear? Once upon a time is a happy way, and I've started it. What I'm trying to say, I'm going to tell you a happy story, wistful tone. Oh, the princess, nothing good about it. And then an ominous tone, saying that that dwarf is going to be the villain over here. Got it? That is how you voice map a sentence to continue with the tone of a speech that you're going to deliver. That means emotions that you want to use can be played within a sentence too. Here I'm coming down. I've given you this. Now, once upon a time, there was a great prince. I want that to be wistful, a beautiful maiden to be happy tone, and let a sulky dwarf remain an ominous tone. Who is going to go first? Happy tone, change it into wistful tone, beautiful maiden into a happy tone, and ominous into a sulky, for a sulky dwarf. Who is going to do that? Switch it. Anand, can I ask you to do
Yeah.
that?
Once upon a time.
No. I want a wistful tone. Change the
Oh,
tone.
Acha, earlier thing would be a
Yes.
wistful.
I gave you an example of happy.
Okay.
Now I'm telling you the first part of the sentence, wistful. About the princess, happy tone. And let the ominous tone remain for sulky draft. Start it. Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a great prince.
Wistful. What is the meaning of wistful? Sad.
Sad. Okay.
Remembering something once upon a time.
Once
There
upon
was.
a time, there
Matlab,
was a
you know,
great
you
prince.
have no idea what is happening. So you're taking them with your tone to that time period with a wistful tone. Wait, something very sad happened at that time. Wistful means sad. Regretful, sad story is what I'm going to tell you.
Can I try, ma'am?
All right, you try
Vanita.
first. Anand, I'll give you another one, and Kunal, I'll give you the third try. Okay? Yeah, why don't you? Yes, please.
Once upon a time, there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden, and a sulky dwarf.
No, a beautiful maiden, more happy tone, sulky dwarf, and ominous tone, and a sulky dwarf.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden, and a sulky dwarf.
Absolutely correct. All right. Anand, I want you to begin with an ominous tone. Let the princess remain with a wistful tone and a sulky dwarf with a happy tone.
Okay. So once upon a time with an once upon a time there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden. Oh, okay. The beautiful maiden is
Once
wistful, right?
upon a time in a wistful tone. No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. In a ominous tone. Ominous. Once upon a time.
Once upon a time
There
there
is
was
a
a
pause
great.
after time. No, there is a comma.
Mhm.
Whenever there
Okay.
is a comma, give it a 1 second pause. Never forget that. Whatever be your sentence, there should be 1 second pause. Go ahead.
Once upon a time there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden, and a sulky dwarf.
Exactly. See, now you can see once upon a time something has happened.
Is it me or
Yeah, she's stuck.
okay?
It means that the prince now is the villain.
Got it.
Got it? All right. Kunal, it's your time. So here we go. I want you to start use a happy tone for the draft. I think I might be giving you the same thing because we've got only 3 this, right? And first one I have already used, but let us start. Happy tone for the sulky draft, ominous tone for a beautiful maiden, and wistful tone for the very first line from Once Upon a Time There Was a Great Prince. Got it? Wistful tone, Once Upon a Time There Was a Great Prince. an ominous tone for a beautiful maiden, okay, and a happy tone for a sulky dwarf. Can you do it, Kunal?
Yeah, I can try. Once upon a time, there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden, and a sulky dwarf.
Dwarf. Yeah, you can still try a beautiful maiden. You did well, but a beautiful maiden with a little more ominous tone. A beautiful maiden. Whenever you want to be ominous, thoda sa mogambo khushua kind of a tone. All right. You know how villains use their voice, right? Silky smooth, they use it. You learn and listen and use that kind of a tone if you want to project something ominous. All right, would you like to give one more shot, Kunal? I hope we are not running short of time.
We are at the top of the hour, but I guess we can still extend for 10 minutes if that is
No,
okay by
because we
you.
started by
At
9:10. I also
9:10.
checked, we've got 2-3 slides more, we'll
Okay,
finish it.
perfect.
All right, yeah. Kunal?
Yes. Once upon a time, there was a great prince, a beautiful maiden, and a sulky dwarf.
Dwarf. Good one. Got it? So now you can see within the sentence also, you can definitely use your tone, because tone and stress changes the meaning. So don't read out any sentences flatly. Okay? If you feel that a particular segment of your sentence is going to need a tone to convey a message, without telling them that I'm going to tell you an ominous story, please listen to it, or I'm going to just listen to the draft who's the bad character here, or the maiden is the bad character, or the prince is the bad character, right? You just use the tone to convey who is bad and who is good. Okay. So this is tongue twisters that we have already done. Now our jaw, perhaps lower jaw in our face, is the only one that is movable. Whenever we are giving our speeches, the use of this is very important, and these muscles should always be slightly loose. So what do? There are some exercises which whenever possible try and do it. All right, it is u o I e, u o I e, u o I E. Got it? Do you see the flexibility of the cheeks and the muscles around? Even if you do it before a speech, I have realized that it actually helps you a lot. So this is something you can do. And then you do it as in words. Booed, bowed, bayed, bead. What happens? Your sound starts having a punch. So your vocals get exercised, voice gets stronger and more attractive on the ears. So people want to listen to you more. This is achieved only through these exercises. And there's one more exercise which perhaps you all will be very surprised to know, but it is the Om. The reason for Om that we use when we are using the voice modulation, or why we practice it, is Om begins from your navel. So what do they say? Take a deep breath and then start Om. The sound only vibrates your necks, larynx. So we are not at all using our throat muscles. Most of the teachers, the professors, use this trick because they have to continuously talk. They talk from the stomach using the sound box that is there in their, how do I put it, in their throat, to emote and to throw a sound. So if you practice your breath, you'll be surprised, as to how well you can really get your this voice or vocals to be working perfectly. It's a great this. Now, a small but most important tips, just like the way we mind map, we can also mind map our, or rather voice map. I call it voice map our speech. Underline the words that you feel is going to help you with the tone of the speech that you're going to set. All right, underline it 2-3 times. So you know while you're practicing, this is time for to stress this word has come. Use an upward or a downward because the pitch has to increase and the pitch has to fall. So if your pitch has to go up, you just put it up to, it starts off with the curve. With this second or third word, it will reach its height. Fourth, fifth word, it will have a downward curve. So from say first to fifth or from second to fourth, I'm going to use the pitch and upward pitch. After that, when you go down, you have to take it up from down only. That's why the next few lines will go with up. Always remember in this case, whenever you are using the pitch, always remember that when it comes to a full stop, bring it a little down so that automatically you give a full stop and then you stop for 2 seconds, because those 2 seconds you require for yourself, because you have spoken either a long sentence, a short sentence, a powerful sentence, or you need to gather your thoughts. So after every sentence, if the 2 second pause is given, it just gives you, but it shouldn't be an obvious pause because you have to continue. All right, but the pause should be there in mind. You run to and you start. After a semicolon, an hyphen, and a comma, a 1 second pause. No sentence should be read in one single go. My name is Kalpana. I'm coming from Kerala. I was born and brought up in Kerala. I went to school in Kerala, and after that I came to Bombay. Then I went to Bombay and I went to college. And after I finished my college, no, it doesn't make any sense. So have your pitch, have your ups and downs. So use 2 or 3 dots for the pause. For a dramatic pause, please use 3 dots. There was someone behind the door. I slowly moved forward, turned the handle of the door, and yanked the door open. You got this? So what happens over here is when you're dramatizing something, when you want to create that situation, let the pause be a little long. Let them be glued to what you're going to say next. And you might say nothing but except that you opened the door with a bang. But bring that on, and then you can say, it was a cat that was scratching at my door. Got it. That comes humor. Got it? So that's how it is. I hope you all have enjoyed. Is there any questions? I can take them. Any questions?
So
Any
the floor
doubts?
is open for questions. I would request anybody to turn on their audio.
I would have a question.
Yes.
I always get a feedback that my rate of speech goes higher when at a certain portion of my speech.
Okay.
But I don't realize it. I ensure that I use my pauses and things like that. But that end, I always, what is it that I should remember? I always ensure that I give that pause and things like that. But I think my sentences in between sometimes have a faster rate of speech because I generally talk like this.
That is something you will need to monitor. That's why the exercise of 1 to 5, where I gave you the pitch, you can also do it with speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What happens is sometimes we want to rush because back of the mind, probably we are thinking whether, especially in Toastmasters, where time is of essence. We
Yeah,
have a tendency to speed up the sentence. Oh my God, am I
yeah,
being slow?
yeah.
It's our subconscious mind that is making us do it.
Yeah.
So I think that I haven't heard you, unfortunately. If I hear you, probably I might be able to give you a better feedback. But what I have realized, whenever people have a tendency to rush with their sentences, either they feel maybe, I might lag in time, or they might find, okay, isko jaldi bol dete hain, chalo chodo. That also
Yeah.
happens. That
That,
happens with me also at times. Chalo na fatafat finish karo, not that
yeah.
I want to go to the next part of my speech. So that also, that is why the breathing exercise will help you, be in control of your voice.
Yeah.
And you will know. Another thing is the minute you start, voice mapping your speech, and then practice it accordingly. You will never go fast, no matter what.
Okay.
No matter what, you give that a shot, and remove this kind of anxiety that we have. I myself faced it when I joined Toastmaster initially,
Yeah.
because I'm very eloquent as a speaker, and here I realized I had to concise it. So
Yeah.
I started using tricks where I started having 3 or 4 sentences, but I kept some connecting words if I had to take away 2 sentences out of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
paragraph without it impacting my speech. It takes us time, but I think we can do it, if once we get the hang of writing,
Yeah.
once we get the hang of
I
talking,
completely agree with you. I have lost a lot of prizes because I shot up on time.
Oh,
And now
okay.
consciously, I think towards the end of the speeches, they are always, beyond that 7 minute, always beyond,
Yes.
is it 14 or 27? My last speech was like 7 minutes, 27 seconds, and I won it. So
Wonderful.
I
It happened
realized
with
that,
me too. Yeah.
so
I will
that
give
is
you,
how,
can I give you one tip regarding this? Remember, if we are eloquent, like I'm speaking, right? I use my pauses and my stresses maximum. That means we are getting less time for a longer speech. Please keep that in mind. Than
yeah,
people who are speaking fast. And Indians speak fast. You know that we can speak at least 80 to 90 words per minute, but not the foreigners. They take their time and speak. So when you are speaking on a stage, and if you really wanted the effect to be more effective, then please realize that we will have to write our speeches in such a way that we are ending up at 550 words or 600 words, but not beyond 550. I have begun to do that because I like to express. I like to, we need to turn. We're turning back. If you're playing
yeah,
characters, voices,
yeah,
that switch takes time. And when we start rushing because we feel, oh my God, the stress of the time or going beyond the time is weighing on us, we can't deliver it well. So write less if you feel you're
even
going
if
to
I
use.
write less, ma'am, okay, I tend to improvise in between because I've just heard a speech before me, and then I want to include that into my speech and things like that. So
No, 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 no,
however
no.
I
That's a
try,
red flag. Don't do it. Don't do it. I also had that habit, but nowadays I stick to what I have to stay. I just stick to it no matter what, because ultimately, adding more Gangajal in a kheer is not going to give them a lovely dish, right?
that is
The milk
nice.
becomes diluted, so there is no point in diluting the milk. I feel, might as well serve them a nice good kheer bas ab khao isi ko, that way a good sweet dish. So don't dilute it. Don't add anything that you feel that person has said. So let me put it, remember that you need to bring in a completeness or wholeness in a speech using the voice modulation. So voice modulation itself will give you extra points or add to your speech. It will make it more richer. So why use so many words to make it richer and then rush through it? Don't do that. I'm sure if you keep it to 550 for yourself without taking inputs or outputs from the others, and you compile it and do it, it will come down. Even the other day I was listening to 2 3 speeches and they had so much content. I was wondering how they got that much content, and I was just thinking of writing my own speech, and I got nervous and I realized, no, I think I will use my own pitch, my own style, and my own speed of delivery. Maybe the content might be a little less. I may add 2 quotes less for all there is. I don't
Yeah.
need to put everything, so that way. I think that ought to help you, because I
Yep.
myself faced it initially. In initial, I think 4 5 speeches of mine, I faced it, going almost 727 seconds. Even I have done it. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions, anyone? But no more questions, right? Kunal, with you, Anand, would you like to ask me something?
Yes. See, I always felt like probably reading out to children uh,
Okay.
and their storybooks because I've grown up listening to that, the Karadi tales and whatnot.
Hmm.
And so is there any way we can practice all those things? Would
Yes,
reading any of the storybooks help to develop?
yes,
Because I saw many of those things are
yes,
related to storybooks, fictional characters.
correct.
Uh,
Yes. Yes, you can. Actually, reading a story book sometimes, where for us, I'm just taking a very simple example. You might be surprised, but when we read those fairy tales or when we read about even Red Riding Hood, where there is a wolf and, then there's the grandma and then there's the child who is going down, playing merrily. So what happens merrily? You want to create that scene of merrily, automatically your tone will start, implying it. So reading storybooks aloud is a good idea. It is one of the, when we conduct, detailed workshops, we actually give them dialogues and we tell them, like, I took only one sentence of it because I here wanted to tell you how it can change the tone of your whole speech. Within a sentence itself, the messages are being conveyed, right? The same way, what we do, we tell them to read the storybooks, we tell them to read the dialogues and present it with the emotion in which they are written. So what happens over there is you will find that automatically you start speaking that way. Actually, when we are talking to people around us, when we are angry, our tone gets angry. When we are sad, our tone gets sad. When we are excited, our tone is excited. So here I would like to tell you all that the same tone we have to consciously use it in our speech. That's it. So that is why if you read the storybooks, we actually give pages and we correct them. We have a 5-day workshop for us about 1 or 2 hours, and then we start correcting them, tell them where the picture's gone right, where the picture's gone wrong. And then the voice molds itself accordingly. Has Vikas gone? Vikas had risen his hand. Toastmaster Vikas, has he left?
no, he's still there,
He's there? Okay.
but we are not able to hear him. Vikas, can you try to increase your
He
volume?
had raised his hand while I was
Or
talking
maybe
to
you
you.
can put it in the chat box. Yes, he has, and he has put it in the chat box that I think you can't hear me.
Okay, okay. I think, yeah, I can't. Yes, that is true. You can put the question in the chat box, because if that is fine. He can't hear us, I think. I don't think he can hear us. He can
He
even
has
WhatsApp me
long
his
questions.
question.
He has mentioned, said he has have long questions. So what I'll do is I'll quickly share the certificate and let's close the session, and
All
then we'll
right.
continue with the networking.
Done,
Uh,
done.
so thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana. This session has been really amazing, I guess. There are some very good key points. The Om thing, I guess most of us, I mean, that's like a simple takeaway that I could do that right after this session, and requires no help, no guided help, I guess, for that. Apart from it, the various tips and tricks that we can use, so be it participating in a contest or delivering a speech in your organization or communicating with your colleagues, the tone is important. And sometimes you feel when you're talking to your boss, probably boss, what you said was okay, I could get it, but your tone was not okay. That's like the kind of feedback, and then when we move into process position, that is something we could take it off. So thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana. This is not just a Toastmaster skill, but a life skill, I feel. So thank you, Kalpana, for it. And
Um,
shall I start sharing my screen? Yeah, perfect. Is my screen visible?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Please accept uh, this certificate of
Thanks.
appreciation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'll send the certificate to you.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll now announce the meeting as closed, and I'll
Thanks.
stop the recording.